Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Steve 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about strand weapons. What are some of the best ones and the ones that you want to keep in mind for next season, since we're going to be getting some nice strand mods in the artifact. So strand weapons are going to be really powerful. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at those mods and also giving you some weapon recommendations. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already. And now, let's get into it. And first, let's start by taking a look at these mods. So we're going to be starting off with Tightly Woven. While Woven Mail is active, gain increased super and grenade stats. While this one's not super flashy, I think it's definitely going to be a must-have pretty much every time that you have a strand build. Just being able to have some free increased super or grenade stats is going to be fantastic, since now they're tied to not only regen, but also damage if you go over the 100 points. So I think this is going to be really good. This is going to be free stats just for being in the strand class. Next, we have Refresh Threads. Whenever you pick up a tango, it will give your least charged ability some ability energy. This one's going to be really good. It basically lets you spam your abilities a lot more often. This one doesn't just work with strand, it's actually going to work with all elements as well, but it's going to be pretty good on strand. After that, Red Blast makes his return from a couple of seasons ago. Whenever you destroy a tango with strand damage, it increases the radius of the explosion and also its damage, just making your tangos a lot deadlier. Again, just improving your tangos some more, so if you have a build where you're constantly just making tangos, it's just gonna be overall better. After that, we have Elemental Daze. This is another one that kinda applies to every single element, but I think it's gonna be really good with strand. Whenever you stun a champion with an elemental weapon, it creates an elemental align explosion. So this is probably gonna make some big Sever explosions. And Sever being such a good debuff, this is going to be fantastic. Especially because it gives you an easy way of putting Sever on the champion itself. And the final mod that I want to take a look at here is going to be Tango Web. Creating a tango by defeating strand debuff targets suspends nearby combatants. And it seems like this is just creating the tango itself. So if you hit like an enemy that's in between a couple more enemies, uses the tango spawns, I think it's going to suspend a bunch of people around them. And I think this is going to be fantastic with a bunch of other builds. The Suspend Warlock build I think is going to get stronger. The Blade Hunter is going to be fantastic with this. Just imagine suspending everything, and then the Blade just goes around and just kills everything and creates more tangles. So I really think that this mod right here is really the one that you're going to be noticing. Whenever you least expect it, you're just going to be suspending a bunch of targets. And if the suspend actually happens every single time you create a tangle, this is going to be fantastic, and it's going to add a lot of suspend to pretty much any strand build. Since you can usually just make a lot of tangles very easily, any strand build is going to be able to suspend a bunch of targets. So those are the artifact perks that are coming that are strand related, and now let's move on and actually let's talk about some of the weapons. So we're going to start this off with the Rocket Sidearm, because Rocket Sidearms continue to be amazing. They are also in the artifact next season, and there's even some mods that will affect the Rocket Sidearms, basically just making them better. And the Coal being a great one, it's craftable, it has some really good perks, and overall it's another Rocket Sidearm that's going to be amazing next season. I think all of them are still going to be amazing this season, but this one specifically because it's strand. So it's going to work with all the strand builds, and overall you're just going to have a really good time with the Coal. You can never go wrong with the Rocket Sidearms. And since we're already here with a craftable weapon, let's go to another one, the Barrel Dyad, the craftable exotic submachine gun. This SMG went from being just an okay one to basically a beast and one of the best primary weapons I think in the game. This thing puts out so much damage, it works really well with any sort of strand build, and once you start to introduce the catalyst into the midst, it makes this weapon even deadlier. Now the worst part probably about this weapon is actually just getting those catalysts, since it is quite a long quest to actually get them. But even if you just get the base weapon, I definitely recommend that you get it, because it's an amazing primary weapon. If you like SMGs, or if you just like strand weapons in general, the Barrel Dyad is going to be a fantastic choice that's going to go well with pretty much any strand build. Moving on to another exotic, we have the Quicksilver Storm. Now the Quicksilver is only strand when you equip the catalyst, so if you have the Quicksilver with a catalyst, definitely get it done, because not only is it going to make it a strand weapon, so it has better synergy with strand, but it's also going to make it so final blows with your grenade launcher mode create tangles. So it's going to give you a very easy way of creating tangles, and with all the things that are in the artifact that are tangle related, this is going to be even better next season. Quicksilver is like the Barrel Dyad, just a really good primary weapon that you can really make work with every single strand build. So if you haven't picked up the Quicksilver Storm, definitely go pick it up and try to get that catalyst done as quickly as possible. You definitely want the strand version of this weapon. Next we're going to another exotic. I feel like most of the interesting like strand weapons are mostly exotics, so that's why we're talking about so many exotics. But it's the Wishkeeper, the craftable bow. Now this one comes from the Star-Crossed Exotic Mission, that's in the Exotic Mission Rotator. So this one's not available all the time, but when it is available, you should definitely get in there and try to get the Wishkeeper. Another big thing that the Wishkeeper is known for is just because of the amount of suspensions you can get out there. If you're trying to add more suspension to your strand build, or you're already on a suspend build and just want to add more suspension on top of it, then the Wishkeeper is pretty much like the best option because it just puts out so much suspend out there. Overall, this is like the go-to suspend weapon, and with a suspend mod actually being the artifact, I think it's gonna make the Wishkeeper builds even better, and you basically is gonna be suspending everything forever and ever. They're never gonna come down. They're always just gonna be suspended. Now let's talk about some actual legendaries, and the first one I want to mention is the Unloved Hand Cannon from the Sunder Doctrine. Now this hand cannon, and although some of their doctrine weapons just kinda are really good because of their origin trait, subjugation, and it makes them all feel pretty powerful when legendaries usually don't feel that way. This one is also a heavy verse hand cannon, which is a very good archetype of hand cannons for PvE, so that ends up actually making this weapon feel actually quite powerful even in some of the endgame content. I always have this issue with like legendary weapons where they feel kind of weak when it comes to like endgame stuff, but the Unloved is definitely not one of them, and with some very good perk selection, including some strand specific perks like Tear, Hatchling, it makes this weapon just really good. It's been one of my favorite hand cannons this season, and every time that I'm using hand cannon, it's probably going to be the Unloved. Another good legendary is going to be the Scatter Signal. Now this weapon is no longer available, so you guys must play during Season of the Wish to actually have this in your inventory. Maybe you already have one that's crafted. But if you don't have the Scatter Signal, you also have one of them that can pretty much get like the exact same raw as the Scatter Signal with the knots. And you can actually get this one from Banshee, and it's just like the Scatter Signal. It's a fusion rifle, that's strand. The big difference is that it is a different type of frame. The Scatter Signal is a rapid fire frame, making it better, and the other one is a high impact. But you can also get control burst to speed it up a bit and get your shots out a lot faster. I know these fusion rifles are gonna be fantastic, but I definitely recommend that you craft the Scatter Signal if you do have one. Now for heavy weapons, we're actually gonna mention two that come from the Strike playlist. The Wicked Sister, the grenade launcher that you can get with MBS Arsenal and Bait and Switch. If you ever need a strength grenade launcher, this is gonna be the best. It has the best perks, and you're gonna be able to put out some crazy damage with this thing. And also the Cynosure, the Strand Rocket Launcher. This is actually one that got added just this season, so you can actually get a bunch of them very easily if you have some engrams. And it also comes with pretty much every good perk under the sun, but that is also a negative because it also means that you have just a ton of perks in the perk pool, so getting the roll that you want might take you a while. Now, if you do have a couple like resets with the Vanguard, you are gonna get different perks on both slots depending on the resets you have. So the more resets you have, the easier it is to get an actual good roll of this rocket. So I recommend that you go for both of these heavy weapons. I think they're both gonna be fantastic, and they're both gonna be something that you definitely wanna have. There's a lot of other really good weapons, so we're gonna rapid fire a couple of them. The Swordbreaker from Crota is an amazing shotgun, especially for any type of melee build. The Exotic Euphony is an amazing exotic on any Strand Warlock build that uses Threatlings. You can put so much damage out there, so many Threatlings out there. And while there's nothing really in the artifact that's gonna benefit Threatlings, it is just a strand weapon that's gonna be pretty good. The Scintillation Linear Fusion also has some really good perks, but since we just had a linear season, I don't think a lot of people are gonna be using this. And there's not really gonna be many things in the artifact that are gonna be helping linears or fusion rifles, so I don't think we're gonna be seeing a lot of play on this weapon, even though it is really good. And the final one that you definitely don't want to forget about is the Abyssal Edge with Flash Counter. This sword has been putting in the work this season, and while we are going to be losing some of the mods, I think it is still going to be a really good sword for that Invincible Titan build. So if you want to try that build out next season, you should definitely grab this Abyssal Edge with the flash counter. And those are gonna be the weapons that we're gonna mention today. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about these weapons? Are you guys looking forward to some of these strand mods? What weapon are you looking forward to using the most that is actually strand? Let me know all that in the comments below. I'm actually really excited. I love strand builds with my hunter and my warlock, so I'm definitely gonna be experimenting with a bunch of these. But with that, we're gonna end today's video. Thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.